I suddenly regained my brightness and then found a tissue under the bed. It says, "Don't tell them, you can see." I turned my head and met an expressionless face. The woman's face was very close to me, with an exaggerated curve on the corner of her mouth. I almost screamed out loud, but I still have to pretend not to see it and show a smile to the man. "Okay, Dad." But the following scene made me even more frightened and angry. The man opened the cabinet and my mother's body rolled out like this. He picked up the body and threw it on the table like the body of an animal. Dad recently got a top-notch black pig, and Albert has had a good appetite tonight. I watched helplessly as the man gave me a malicious smile, then raised the kitchen knife and let it fall. My stomach was filled with a tumultuous wave of sadness and despair. I wanted to leave here but was stopped by a man's voice. "Cherry, do Dad a favor. This meat is a bit difficult to cut. Can you help Dad hold it? This man is so malicious. Or rather, he wants to test my reaction. It is impossible for me to watch a man dismember my mother's body expressionless. Dad, I'm a bit tired and I want to go back and rest." I adjusted my breathing and said with a smile, "Then you go rest? Dad will handle it here." The man also smiled and said, After returning to the room, I couldn't control my emotions anymore and burst into tears. My beloved mother died, and I watched her dismembered with my own eyes. And it's very likely that my father was also killed. I took a deep breath and called the police. I finished telling the police about my experience and gave them the address of the villa. The police asked me to lock the door and stay inside without going out, and told me that they would arrive here within half an hour. After hanging up the phone, I immediately unlocked the door. Suddenly, the phone rang. "It's Albert." "Albert? Cherry, are you okay?" "I'm fine." Upon hearing Albert's voice, I completely broke through my defense. But I saw my mother's body. Albert remained silent for a moment and said, "Cherry, cheer up. I know you're feeling sad now, but the most important thing now is to ensure that your people..." Personal safety. Yes, Albert is right. Now is not the time for sadness. The police arrive here in half an hour, and during this half hour I must ensure my own life safety. Suddenly, I heard footsteps going upstairs. The man's voice sounded from behind the door. "Cherry, Dad has prepared braised pork belly. Come down and help Dad taste it." I was very angry when I heard the man's words. I stared closely at the door. "Dad, I don't really want to eat now." Immediately after, the woman's voice also sounded outside the door. "Cherry, come out and Mom can help you massage your eyes. The doctor said you need more massage to accelerate blood circulation." "Mom, I want to be alone for a while," I said nervously. At this point, the sound of the key being inserted into the lock hole sounds. The woman actually had the key to my room. As the door handle turned, I immediately hid under the bed. On the bottom of the bed, someone actually wrote lines of words with a black pen. But before I could take a closer look, I heard a squeak and the door opened. "Cherry, where are you? You're such a big person. Do you still play hide and seek with your parents?" The woman's voice sounded particularly eerie. Different. I covered my mouth, held my breath, and dared not make any sound. "The door of the wardrobe has been opened. The bathroom door has also been opened." I huddled myself in the corner, desperately praying that they wouldn't find me. But my prayer did not take effect. Two expressionless faces appeared under the bed, giving me a strange smile together. "6? I found you, Cherry." I stubbornly suppressed the scream that was about to erupt in my throat. "Mom, do you remember when we were kids playing hide and seek together? I kinda missed the time back then, so I played hide and seek with you for a while." "Hide?" I smiled and crawled out, groping. The woman looked at me and suddenly sighed. "You child, I remember when you were a child hiding in a pigsty. When Mom found you, you were all dirty." Her words shocked me deeply. This is indeed something I experienced when I was a child. How do women know? After my mother retrieved me from the pigsty, I had a fever for a day and a night. It was my mother who carried me to the hospital in town to see a doctor. Afterwards, you had a fever. At that time, our family was poor and we didn't have a car. Your father happened to be on a business trip, and I carried you to the hospital in town. You were on my back and vomited all over my back." The woman smiled with a look of nostalgia in her eyes. My nails are tightly embedded in the palm of my hand. She said these very detailed things verbally. Seeing me silent, the woman came over and touched my head. "Cherry, Albert has really gone too far this time.